Oh, yeah. And we are officially live up in this thing. What is good with it? Black Goose family. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday, man. I really do. I hope y'all enjoying it. I hope it's going good. I hope it's going solid. Blessings and salute to everybody. And as always, bear with your boy. Bear with how I rock and I groove. Because you already know, I got to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I got the good audio going down. You know what I'm saying? I need the good audio going down. So let me make sure that's going. I'm going to check up on that first before we start. But as always, man, blessings to everybody. Blessings to the people. Blessings to everybody, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Much love. I'm going to turn this up right here. I'm going to turn on my speaker. Yeah. Have a little music playing, baby. Have a little bit of music playing, baby. I hope y'all feeling good up in this joint. We ain't going to be here too long. I promise you that. We are doing a preview, baby. We just doing a fight week preview. That's all we got going on. Let me make sure the audio's good. Let me make sure that audio sounds good, man. Yeah, man, that's where the feedback coming from. The music sounds good. The music sounds solid. My voice sounds solid. The picture look good. So we gonna hop right into this, man. We're not gonna take too long. As always, if you guys are in here and you guys are not part of the Black Goose family, please hit that motherfucking subscribe button. It's right below. Oh, it's right below. It's over here. It's over here. Hit that subscribe button, please, and then also hit that like button. As always, that always gonna help with the channel. It's gonna help support your boy, and it's gonna just help be part of the family, man. Fuck all the support, just join the family, man. There's love to go around, man. If y'all missing a little bit of love, then y'all need to go ahead and be part of the Black Goose family. But anyways, man, it's a fight week video, baby. Fight week preview. We got Danny Garcia versus Errol Spence, baby. I know y'all excited for it. I'm excited as hell for it, man. We've excuse me, man. Boxing's really been giving us a treat, man, lately. Yeah, and this is an interesting thing that I wanted to point out, man. I feel like personally, the UFC, you know, specifically, we can say MMA, obviously, but let's pinpoint the UFC. The UFC took this whole year by storm, man. They was the first ones to be like, hey, man, I don't care about the pandemic. We still gonna make this work. There's a way that we can still have these sporting events go on, and we're gonna put on some great shows. And I feel like they just totally ran away with probably like the first 60 to 75% of this 2021, because it was one of the only sports who was doing it, you know what I'm saying, obviously. So you got to respect that. It was one of the only sports that, you know, took the risk, and they was like, we could still put on amazing events and amazing fights on top of that. That was the greatest thing that the UFC did, MMA, whatever you want to say. You know, they not only continued on with putting on fights, but they put on some amazing fights. And everybody was talking about UFC. Everyone was talking about MMA, even boxing channels, boxing people. They was breaking down UFC fights, MMA fights, because that's all that was out there. That's all that was. Oh, let me text this right there. But that's all that was. That's what everybody was talking about. That was the only thing to talk about. There was no other sports. But, you know, they paved the way. They did their thing. Other sports started seeing that is, you know, you can make it happen. Even though we got this pandemic going on, you can still make shit happen. And you started slowly seeing all the other sports kind of following suit. And one of them being boxing as well. But if you want me to be 100, I personally feel like I said, the first 60%, maybe 70% of the year, you can even go as far as 75%, you got to give that award to UFC, man. They did an excellent job. Kept us entertained, kept us being able to watch them through all these times. But I think boxing is slowly taking this end of the year, man. Boxing has been phenomenal the last like 25% of this 2020 with the fights that they're putting on, with the events that's been going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people may look at boxing and may look at the whole entire card in comparison to like a UFC card and say, well, you know what I'm saying? No one cares about all the other fights. We're just here for the main event. Regardless of how you feel about it, you got to give boxing its credit. You got to give boxing its love, because in my opinion, I feel like the end of this 2020, we've had extraordinary boxing events, man. Extraordinary boxing events, man. You got to give it to him. Teofimo Lopez versus Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? The Charlo brothers. You had Jamal Charlo defeat a very game Derevyanchenko. Jamel Charlo. You know what I'm saying? You know, just basically blew through Hazen Rosario. And you know what I'm saying? We had, you know, Devin Haney versus Gamboa. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell early to January, even though it's supposed to be this year. We got Anthony Joshua versus Pulev. I think that's next weekend, right? That's the 12th. Yeah, next weekend is Anthony Joshua versus Pulev. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we got Danny Garcia versus Errol this weekend. Last weekend, Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois. Man, if you're a boxing head, if you're a boxing fan, the end of this year has been crazy. I think it's a lot to live up to when we're going into next year, right? Whole lot to live up to going into next year, because I'm like, either boxing is gonna, continue following suit with this type of level of competition where we see, high level competition face each other, or they're gonna fall back off. But I don't see that happening, because I don't see this pandemic going anywhere anytime soon. Y'all see everything is ramping back up. Y'all see, you might be seeing more cities go back into lockdown, things like that. So, this is gonna be the life we're gonna have to live with for a while. Even when the vaccine is released, I still believe it's gonna be something we're gonna live with, because not everyone's gonna get the vaccine. It's not gonna be distributed to everybody. It's gonna be, a certain amount of vaccines to go around. They're gonna be giving it probably to certain people to begin with, to make sure it works. So I'm like, I think we're going to see this. We're going to be in this situation for a while. So I hope boxing continues to just put on these amazing fights, the fights that people want to see, man. And one of them, man, is right here, man. Y'all see it, man. Y'all see it on the screen. I've been keeping it here. Man, this is the old post from Danny Garcia. Oh, well, not necessarily an old post. It's July 31st, so it is to an extent. But here we go. Errol Spence on November 21st, signed, sealed, delivered. That was the original date. Obviously, they pushed it back to this weekend for the was it the 4th, the 5th, excuse me, for the 5th. So we know that, but we here, man. We ready, and y'all already know what the fight week preview video is. But I'm bringing it back. If y'all longtime followers of the BlakGooseTV, man, I used to do these for every fight, every big fights that I was really interested in. It didn't even have to be a big fight. Like, I would do it for any fights that I really wanted to see. I would always do a fight week video. I'm bringing these back right now. Now, obviously, the schedule is a little different. Got a lot more on my plate. Got a lot more doing it, so I can't do it for as many fights as I used to do it. And at the same time, if you see the way the cards are laid out nowadays when it comes to boxing, you're not going to have too many big names. You're not going to really have more than the main event when it comes to big names on a card, because obviously they want to get the most out of the money with there not being any fans there. But we got to do it for this. Last week, I did it for Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce, and I told y'all who was going to win. If y'all was betting, folks, and y'all rocked with me, and y'all believed me, y'all would have made some money off of Joe Joyce, man. Y'all would have made a little something. Y'all didn't. We got Danny Swift Garcia versus Errol Spence. I'm telling you right now, man, my pick is Garcia. I'm going with Danny Garcia by late round KO. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds wild. I'm gonna let y'all know. Disclaimer when it comes to this choice. Now, see, it's different from Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois. Joe Joyce, I was biased because I am a Joe Joyce fan, but looking at it, with what it is from a very unbiased perspective, I had Joe Joyce just because it just made sense. Now, if you want to be real, I do think Errol is the better fighter than Danny, but I'm a Danny Garcia fan. I think Danny Garcia is underrated. I think he has the most power in the welterweight division. I think he's going to be able to touch Errol. Errol's going to be a little bit fragile from that car accident. I do think he's going to be just a little bit fragile, even though I think he's going to be fresh. But I think in one shot, I think he's going to outbox Danny. I think he's going to outbox Danny all the way to the 10th, 11th round, but he's going to get hit with a shot. It's going to make him hard for him to go. Garcia's going to lay it on him. We're going to get a late round stoppage from Danny Garcia. That's my prediction. Don't hold me to it, because like I said, there's a little bias when it comes to this. It's different from the Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois. I was fully confident in Joe Joyce winning, because even with the bias, everything lined up and made sense. With this, you know what I'm saying? I'm picking Danny Garcia strictly off because I want him to win. I strictly want him to win. So I'm going to be 100 with you. So if you were smart, don't listen to me right now. Don't make no bets on this. But I'm telling you who I got. I got Danny Garcia late round stoppage. God damn it. That's how I feel. I feel like Angel Garcia in this bitch. Angel Garcia. I think Danny's going to knock out Spence in the 7th round. I feel the same way. Just not that early. It's going to be in the later rounds. Errol Spence's condition is going to be on point. Errol Spence's condition is always on point. His boxing is going to be amazing. But I just think it's a little too much to come back from what he came back from and fight Garcia and him be able to go all 12 rounds and take some of that punishment. His defense is going to have to be on 100. Errol Spence always had great defense, but when I saw him against Sean Porter, it showed to me his defense isn't all what they cracked up it to be. Now, let me say this too. Sean Porter is a very unorthodox fighter, right? So Errol's going to get hit from shots from Porter more so than probably from a Garcia or even from a Mikey Garcia, because Garcia and both of the Garcia, Danny Garcia and Mikey Garcia, are both very fundamentally sound boxers, and they box in a very traditional way: straight lines, forward, back, side, combination punching, counter punching. Especially Garcia. Garcia throws with so much power. He plants his feet. He sits down on a lot of his punches. He doesn't throw too many combinations. He looks for that big shot. So that's something Errol's going to definitely be able to take advantage of with his work rate, his pace, and him be able to push him on his back foot. All I'm saying is, like I said, Errol's going to outbox Garcia easily. I just think he's going to get caught with enough big shots that his body, it won't be able to take him the same way they would have if it was before the car crash. That's just my guess. That's my prediction, and I think it's going to be a real late round stoppage. You know what I'm saying? You even seen Errol versus Mikey. He dominated Mikey the whole time. Didn't get him out of there, though. So I don't think Errol's going to stop Danny Garcia in any type of way. So I'm with Angel here, man. I think it's going to be a late round TKO from Danny Garcia. I don't think it's going to be as early as the 7th, but I see it in the 11th round, 10th, 11th round, where that can happen. I'm not going to say easily, but it's going to be very surprisingly to people if that does happen. But like I said, don't quote me on this because I got a lot of bias coming to this. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead. Let's read a little bit on this article right here, what they saying. Angel Garcia said, Danny's got to go out there and knock him out. I think Danny's going to knock him out. I'm going to say 7th round. Danny's knocking him out with the overhand right. He's dropping Spence. I'm going to tell you right now, people are going to be shocked. I'm not going to be shocked. It's nothing new to me. Errol Spence responded by saying, I don't think nothing of it. I mean, that's his coach, his father. He expects that, but I definitely don't. I don't see it happen. I think that's just his dad's way of pumping him up. Angel said, if Spence opens up and let his hand go and goes toe-to-toe with Danny, he's done. He's going out. Danny can knock you out with both his hands. People got that shit twisted. Danny don't need a left hook. Danny got a hard right hand, too. Spence is going against a puncher. He never fought on his resume someone like Danny. Now, if there's one thing that comes from the analyst of Angel, because, you know, it's his father. He hypes up a lot of shit. We all know how Angel Garcia is. If there's one analyst that I do agree when it comes to him and Spence, I do think if they do get in the pocket, Errol should be wary of trading with Garcia, because Errol's going to be able to beat Danny Garcia in the output of punches in the pocket. But when it comes to a powerful knockout artist, which I do believe in my heart that Garcia is a knockout artist. I think he's the hardest hitting 147er. That's my opinion. I do, you know, and everyone says the best time to hit a puncher is while they're throwing. So if Errol's going to be letting go a lot of, is going to be letting his hands go more so in the pocket than Garcia. Garcia is going to be looking for that counter shot, and that left hook, overhand right, whatever it may be, can come off. And I don't think it would have been a problem pre-car accident, right? I wouldn't have predicted this or said this, but I think it's going to be a problem since he did go through that unfortunate event. Obviously, we're happy to see him good. He looks in great shape. I think people are going to be surprised by this, man. I think it's going to be a dogfight. If Danny doesn't win by TKO late, I think Errol's going to get it by unanimous decision. I don't think he's even going to be a split decision, because I don't think Danny Garcia is in the same bracket as Errol when it comes to just being a boxer. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't think Errol Spence is in the same bracket of Danny Garcia when it comes to that power. That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. So I agree with Angel when it comes to don't go toe-to-toe with Danny for a long period of time. I think it would be a smart game plan for Errol to get in and get out, because I don't think he needs to test his chin or his body as much as, you know, I don't want to say as he thinks he should, but I don't think he should try and test that as much for this comeback fight. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're going against high-level competition, he still, in my mind, should use this as like a warm-up fight to test his body, see where he's at, see what type of punches he can take, and see just kind of, you know, the frame his whole physical being is in after such a crazy ass car accident. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Here we go, photos. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. They had the face off at the final press conference, December 2nd. This is the day. Y'all can probably go and y'all can check out the videos on foxsports.com. You know all the boxing channels, they went over it, but as you can see, Errol Spence is the bigger man. Errol Spence is the bigger man. I don't know what the reach is. I'm pretty sure Errol Spence has a little bit longer of the reach, but you know. It's going to be interesting. I see Errol trying to fight on the outside for this fight. I don't see Errol going in on the inside too much. He may go on the inside real quick, let go a couple body shots, but I see him fighting on the outside because I don't think it would be smart to test. You know what? I'm going to take that back. Errol's a goddamn warrior, so I see easily him going in there and testing Danny's power and to see if it really is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. You got Danny Garcia with the all pink with the white shoes on, man. I like the outfit, man. Fresh. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a big fight, man. I can't wait for this goddamn thing, man. I hope y'all join me. You already know I'm gonna go live for that joint. You already know what it is. But it's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. A hell of a goddamn fight. So let's go over to the Instagrams, man. You already know how we do this, baby. I go over to Instagrams. I like to see, you know what I'm saying, what type of what they posting on the gram on the social medias and what they on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence out here, man. Salute to Errol Spence. I think he just had a baby. Salute to Errol. Yeah, got a baby boy, man. Salute to Errol for that, man. Blessings to your baby, man. Blessings to your baby. Errol looking in phenomenal shape, ripped. Look at that, like 7% body fat, something like that, man. Looks ripped, looks in great condition. But how is he gonna take that power? How is he gonna take that power from Danny Garcia? People disrespect Danny Garcia when it comes to his power. It never made sense to me. Never made sense to me why people disrespected Danny Garcia when it came to his power, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember once, like way back, I made a video way back, and I was like, I basically was like, yeah, hold on a second. Oh, that's that shit. Okay, but yeah, I was basically like, yeah, Danny Garcia is probably the hardest hitter in 147. Motherfuckers was coming at me, what? Are you serious? Da 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 da. I'm like, look at his track record. Like, look who he's knocked out. Like, come on, bro. Don't be crazy. Spence versus Garcia. Look at that right there. Errol Spence said, fight week. I'm back. One of the quotes I kept when I was getting back is some days wanted to stop. The human body is capable of extraordinary things. But a strong body will never achieve a maximum potential if it is attached to a weak mind. Dig deep. I'm better than the old me. Shit bigger than me. That's a mindset a lot of people will not understand, man. That's a crazy mindset right there. Crazy mindset. He looks in phenomenal shape. You know what I'm saying? He looks at the peak of where he should be. It's going to be a hell of a fight, man. It's going to be a hell of a fight. But I'm rocking with my boy, Danny Garcia, on this one. I'm an Errol Spence fan. I love Errol Spence. I actually think that, you know what I'm saying, we're going to see. Like I said, man, don't quote me on who I'm saying to win. I'm biased toward Danny Garcia. I'm a Danny Garcia fan more than I am an Errol Spence fan. It just is what it is. That's how I feel about it. So I am going to rock with the dude I'm more biased with in this particular position. But like I said, like, I think Earl's a better boxer. I think fundamentally he's more sound than Danny Garcia. I think he has more tools to use. I think he has more tools to utilize. I think he has better defense than Danny Garcia. But, you know what I'm saying, even though we're talking about a smaller weight class, at the end of the day, this goes for whether you're 147 or 154, you know what I'm saying, 160, 168, 175, cruiserweight, you know what I'm saying, heavyweight, whatever it is. Having that one punch knockout power is always going to be the equalizer. That's my opinion. It's always going to be the equalizer. And I think Danny Garcia has that. But a lot of people disrespect him and say he don't. A lot of people don't think he really has knockout power like that, which is weird to me. And I think it just has to do with because he's just in a smaller weight class. And a lot of people don't see it that way. So just be ready, man. And that's going to be an interesting thing too, you know, with Errol being, you know, a southpaw and Danny, how is Danny going to deal with him being a southpaw? How is Danny going to be able to make that adjustment? How many southpaws? Obviously, I'm pretty sure he has a whole lot of southpaws when it comes to his training camp. But, you know what I'm saying, I don't remember last time Danny Garcia fought a southpaw. Obviously, I don't have the stats pulled up to me, so it might be a lot sooner than I thought. So, look at that. Told y'all the tables will turn. Keith Thurman, no belt. Danny Garcia, no belt. Errol with the belt. I hate that people used to like have such a weird narrative on Keith Thurman that he was holding on to belts and he was a fluke of garbage. Everything about him is corny. Voice, haircut, list. People were so stupid. Keith Thurman is a legend, bro. That's how I know people was just, man, such fanboys, man. Keith Thurman's a legend. That's the fight to make. Keith Thurman versus Errol. You'd be surprised. But at this point in time, at Keith Thurman's career and the injuries that he's had and kind of the way he's been inactive, I'm not sure exactly what Keith Thurman will get. But Keith Thurman in his prime, I'm telling you, he beats Errol easily, man. In his prime. And now it'll be a close fight. Errol probably can edge it off. But, you know, it just all depends. That's dope, man. Maurice Hooker up in that joint. Maurice Hooker is slated as 6'3". He doesn't look 6'3" right there. But obviously, we're going a little bit into some older things. You know, this is before the car crash, things like that. This is when he's getting ready for the Sean Porter fight. It's all good. Looks massive right there. So you got to respect it. But, you know what I'm saying? He looks ready. He looks ready to go. I'm pretty sure y'all saw some of his mitt work. We can probably look up some of the mitt work. I think I would want to do that. Let's do that. We'll go to YouTube up in here, man. I won't do it too long. But we just let's look a little bit at that mitt work. Let's go. I guess we can go fight hub. Yeah, let's go fight hub. Let's go right here with it, man. But then we got Danny Swift Garcia over here, man. Let's look how Danny Swift Garcia is going, man. Couple pay-per-view pictures up in here. Excuse me, not pay-per-view, but the press conference pictures. The 2 belts on the line, baby. 2 belts on the line. That's what I'm rocking with, man. Y'all can't be mad at me just because of it. By the way, if y'all up in here and you haven't thrown a like, man, please hit the like button. If you're not part of the Black Goose family, please join the Black Goose family. I'll say this. I hate when I see him and his pops do mitts, but it is what it is, man. It really is what it is. Let's skip this ad right here real quick. We're going to fast forward. We're not going to watch too much. But you see right here, this is all reaction mitt work, okay? I don't know if you guys, I don't know how, advanced you guys know about mitt work. I don't know if you guys trained anything like this. But what we're seeing right here, this is reactionary mitt work. They're not focused on power. They're not focused on sitting down on things. It's just all reaction type mitt work right here. It's just muscle memory, and working on really cardio. You see they're not really focused on range. You see the jab's not coming fully extended. The right hand's not fully extended. But all this is right here is just reaction right here. Making sure that the muscle memory is still there. And basically everything is moving the way it's supposed to be moving. That's basically all that's happening right there and what they're focusing on. I want to see if I can see over here the Danny Garcia. So I'm going to have to type that in. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab for that. So salute to everybody who's rocking with me right now. But, man, I'm excited as hell for this fight, man. Let me see Danny Garcia, open workout. And we can see just a little bit of the difference between the two. We'll just stream the weekend. Let's go right here with it, man. We're on the PBC side of the game. But yeah, you can see just a little, look at that. You're not focused on power. You're not focused on range. All you're focused on is just muscle memory, reaction, cardio. That's it. That's it. And he looks great. He looks real good, man. Looks real good, real good. Great shape, moving around. Let's take a look over here about young Danny Garcia. Now let's look at Danny Garcia on the mitts. Let me find it. Here we go. So Danny Garcia here on the mitts. So what do you think we have? Same thing right here. With his pops, he's doing reactionary mitt work. Just muscle memory. Nothing extra behind it. That's all that he's working on. Same thing here when he's doing here. You know what I'm saying? You're not working on sitting down on any of your punches. You're not throwing anything too hard. You're not. I do like the range a little bit better with Danny Garcia's mitt work. They're making sure he's extended on all of his punches in comparison. If you look at Errol's mitt work, a lot of his the range isn't really the focus right here because he's not punching the mitt. He's not using the end of his punches to get to the mitts. That's it. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's not the goal. What they're doing right here. You know what I'm saying? This is just all muscle memory right here. Beautiful. It looks good. Look at the feet. Feet look light. By the way, if you guys up in here, man, go ahead, throw that like if you haven't thrown the like. So now at the uppercut, jab looks good, doubling up that right hook, man. You got Danny Garcia over here looking solid. The thing about Danny Garcia, man, he has heavy hands, man. You can tell the way he punches, he has heavy hands. You can tell when he was working the heavy bag, he has heavy hands, man. Let's go to that real quick. Let's go to that heavy bag work a little bit. Heavy hands. And a lot of people like to say about Danny Garcia that he waits a little bit too long between combinations. They feel like they don't put him together a lot the way they would like him to. But he's a power puncher, man. He sits down on a lot of his punches, so you're gonna see that a lot from power punches. Kind of like if you look at Jamal Charlo's mitt work, heavy bag work in comparison to Jermell Charlo's mitt work, heavy bag work. Both of them have power, but Jamal throws everything behind all of his punches, so he sits down a lot more. So it's going to take a little bit more time in between his combinations because he's loading up basically, but he's loading up in a way where you're not going to be able to predict it. And we can take a look over here. They got Errol's heavy bag work on this. No heavy bag work from Errol on this particular clip, but that's what we seeing, man. They both look good, man. Both look good, man. They both look in peak shape. I think what's going to be a big determining factor between the fight that a lot of people aren't talking about is the fact that Errol is a southpaw, and Danny Garcia is going to have to find a way to be able to deal with that, because I don't think Danny Garcia has fought too many southpaws. I might be wrong. I'm not going to go ahead and fact check that. Y'all can fact check that if y'all want. But I think we in for a hell of a fight, man. Garcia looking in tip-top shape, man. Hitting the weights. Hitting the weights right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's terrible form on that right there. That's terrible form. That's all right form. That's pretty good. That lat pull down, that's terrible form. It's so crazy how sometimes when you see these professional athletes and they work out, and it's just like, man, you have trainers. Why aren't they telling you about your form to maximize what you're doing? Terrible form. But he's getting ready. He's working. That's all that matters. Boom. That right hand, man. That right hand is gonna be important, man. Because he's gonna have to make Errol respect him. If Errol respects Danny's power, he's not gonna be so gung-ho on getting to that inside and working that body. If anything, Errol is probably going to change his game plan, because he can, and he can fight on the outside because he is a bigger fighter than Danny Garcia. He has a longer reach than Danny Garcia. His footwork, in my opinion, he's a lot more lighter on his feet, in my opinion. So, but this is going to be a hell of a fight, man. It's going to be a hell of a fight, man. I'm ready for it. By the way, if y'all just hopped up in here, man, make sure y'all hit that goddamn like button. If y'all ain't hit the like button, we're going to see a goddamn fight, man. So, yeah, man. So, broke it down, seen it all. You know, obviously, I'm like, when I do the fight week videos, I don't go crazy into no type of specifics. We just like to check it out, you know what I'm saying? See what the fighters are presented in front of us, and just kind of just, you know, give our 2 cents, look at it. But then also too, me personally, I'm gonna give y'all my prediction. I want to tell y'all why I got Danny. Most got Errol, and it makes sense, and I understand why. It's just Errol is, you know, from the eye test, a better boxer than Danny Garcia, but a lot of time, better boxers go into the ring with guys who have that one equalizer, that knockout power, that one punch power that I think Danny Garcia has, and they underestimate it, man. I think a lot of people are underestimating Danny. Danny arguably won against Sean Porter. He arguably won against Keith Thurman. So, obviously, Errol Spence beat Sean Porter. I thought it was a very close fight. I think that knockdown definitely changed everything when it came to that. So I'm like, I don't like when people try to say, well, Danny Garcia lost to Sean Porter, but Errol Spence beat Sean Porter. Let's not act like Errol washed Sean Porter. He definitely didn't. It was a close fight. Very close fight. Watch it again. No commentary. It was a close fight. Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter, a lot of people argued that it could have went either way. Right? Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia, even though I'm a hell of a Keith Thurman fan, that's when I first really started, like, even though Garcia has a hell of a resume, and that's what I appreciate about his pops. He always reminds people about his resume and who he's fought. But, you know what I'm saying, even though I'm a big fan of Keith Thurman, I do understand if some people thought Danny Garcia won that fight. I had Keith Thurman, but I do understand. So the 2 fights that Danny Garcia lost, you can really argue that, you know, it went either way. Sean Porter versus Errol Spence, you can argue if that knockdown didn't happen, we could have had a draw, or, you know, they're not good. Obviously, they wasn't going to give that to Sean Porter no matter what. But, you know, if we're not talking about boxing politics, Sean Porter could have won that fight. There's no politics when it comes to Danny Garcia. There's no weight behind him. But there's a lot of weight when it comes to Errol. Rightfully so, though. Rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Rightfully so. But it's going to be a big test for Errol. Big test. But I'm ready for it, man. I'm gung-ho, baby. So, as always, man, make sure y'all join me when I go live on this Saturday, man. We're gonna go live this Saturday. I think there's a UFC card on too. I'm not sure who's fighting. I'll probably get into that later, but make sure y'all join me. I'm gonna be going live for that, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun as always. Chop it up, get turned up, get faded, enjoy the motherfucking boxing fight, and make sure y'all motherfuckers do something every day so y'all don't feel fat when y'all enjoying y'all food and drinking y'all beers and all that stuff. Y'all up into that type of shit, but you know what I'm saying? That's my preview of Errol versus Danny, man. And like I said, this is my last time letting y'all know this is my pick right here. This is who I got when I got Danny Garcia by late TKO. I'm going to go with the 11th round. I think he's just going to be hitting them with shots that Errol Spence, he's going to be used to, but I think his body's just not going to be the same. And one of them's going to put him down. But, like I said, don't take my word on that. I'm biased as hell. Biased as hell. All right, so let's get into the next topic. You know what I'm saying? We're almost done with the stream. I'm not going to be on here too long because after this, I want to enjoy my night first and foremost. It's already goddamn 9:40. It's about to be 10, so I may get in the studio. Probably not. We'll see how that goes. Tyson versus Jones Jr. plus Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson sold over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Now, this isn't confirmed. This is a early article from Boxing News 24. It's being reported. A lot of people are saying it's bullshit. A lot of people are saying, yeah, right. But we will see probably, I think by the end of this week or weekend, we'll get a confirmed number. But this is what's coming out as of right now. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones and YouTube star Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson combined to bring in over 1 million pay-per-view buys. 1 million. And remember, they were saying they broke pre-fight pay-per-view records. By the way, if y'all in here and you haven't thrown a like, please hit the like button. If y'all ain't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, man. It means a lot. So apparently, man, a lot of people were saying too, those reports wasn't true. It's like there's no way they would have, broke the pay-per-view buy records. Even me, I was one of the people who was saying, like, I don't believe that. Like, where are they getting these statistics from? Like the articles that they were showing, like there was no actual like real articles that you can click on to see that. I didn't see it on none of the real credible boxing sites. But as of now, we got it being reported over 1 million buys. Let me see if I can get if they're saying in there. Now they're not really saying a specific number. They're just saying over 1 million buys. So we don't have a specific number. I don't know what that means. What they're just debating on this particular article was it Jake Paul who brought it all in, or was it Mike Tyson? I think it's a combination of two. A lot of people went to see Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, and at the same time, people went to see Mike Tyson back in action. I think majority of the pay-per-view buys came from, I won't say majority, it could have been 50-50, but people went to see Mike Tyson, goddammit. People wanted to see Mike Tyson back in there, so you can't take that away from him. I'm like, he generated that. Now see if the next time, because remember I told y'all, it's going to be interesting how if the fight turns out that Mike Tyson somehow loses or he doesn't look good or whatever, is he going to continue to do this? Well, they did it in a perfect way where there was a gentleman's bet between the two. And no one went crazy, but Mike Tyson still looked great and people would want to see it again. But the question is he's going to be able to generate the same amount of love that he did in this one. And I think he can, because it all depends on who he fights. Like Roy Jones, as much as I love Roy Jones, as much as I think he's one of the GOATs, Roy Jones isn't being looked for like that in his after career when it comes to casual fans. Like, so if Mike Tyson can find someone that a lot of casual fans are aware with, he can get this number again, especially if he's able to do a co-main event, like bring Jake Paul back, have Jake Paul fight another like celebrity, whatever it may be. They can replicate this, in my opinion. But y'all heard it here first, and I don't know if y'all heard it here first. Obviously, Boxing News 24 put it up first. I actually didn't see it on BoxingScene.com, so I don't know how accurate this is. But they're saying right now they're combined to bring over 1 million pay-per-view buys. So if it's anything close to that, if it's over that, if it's under that, whatever it may be, that's a success. That's more than a success. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we have big promoters like Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum saying pay-per-view is dead. Pay-per-view obviously isn't dead. If you put up the right price, because remember, usually pay-per-views in the U.S. is $75. When you got Floyd fight, $90. They went with $50, okay? So, you can actually look at it from the standpoint, if you're looking at a regular pay-per-view fight like Danny Garcia versus Errol, which I'm not sure if that's pay-per-view. That might be free TV. I'm not sure, but I think it's pay-per-view. I'm not sure. But say they get, it costs $75 and they do $500K to $600K pay-per-view buys. That's going to be equivalent to like Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones for $50 doing like $800 to $900K buys, but still impressive nonetheless. So you gotta salute Mike Tyson. He still got it. And you got to salute his co-main event, when it comes to Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul. Probably mostly coming to Jake Paul and Nate Robinson, because you know a lot of those NBA players bought that pay-per-view to see Nate Robinson. So let's keep that in the fact. That was a big deciding factor. Like, let's not act like a lot of those NBA players did not buy that. They tuned into a fight that they probably wouldn't have watched, even though Mike Tyson was there. A lot of them may not have watched, but more of them watched because they wanted to see Nate Robinson. I'm doing it for the whole basketball culture, so smartly planned, man. So you got to give it to him for that. So hopefully y'all hearing it first. Right here, y'all see it, man. Tyson versus Jones Jr., Jake Paul, Nate Robinson. Sold over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Now, let's give it 3 to 4 more days. We'll probably get an exact number. The same way you still hear reports that Mike Tyson made 10 mil and Roy Jones made like 3 mil. Those reports were actually looked at as false. Those are false news, y'all. They both made 1 mil. So, and we still don't have a reported number for what Jake Paul and Nate Robinson made, even though a lot of people are circulating they made $600 plus back end on the pay-per-view buys. There's no way that, no, I'm going with the 600K. I'm going with they made 600. They both made 600K and possibly got some pay-per-view points with it, regardless of what y'all want to think. There's no way no motherfucker is agreeing to fighting for $600 and hoping that the card and hoping that the actual card does well enough where they can get so much back end. Like, who's gonna negotiate that? Like, what type of negotiation is that? Like, what type of managers? Nah, these motherfuckers have made too much money in their life to agree to something like that. Both of them, both Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Let's not be stupid. All right, and last but not least, before I get up out of here, much love to everybody, by the way. If you are in here and you haven't hit the like button, please hit that like button. Hitting you with some news a lot of people ain't gonna talk about. My used to be favorite fighter. I don't know how I feel about him now, because obviously I'm probably not gonna see him fight for another year. God damn it. And obviously he's motherfucking getting tested left and right when it comes to being on them PEDs. Big Baby Miller issued 24-month suspension by the Nevada Commission. Now, let's talk about it. BoxingScene.com. The disgraced former heavyweight was hit with a 24-month suspension by Nevada during his monthly commission hearing held Wednesday. Okay. Miller will have the opportunity to reduce the sentence by 6 months, though still leaving him out of the ring until January 2022. The terms of this agreement include a 24-month suspension subject to modification. The respondent will pay for and complete a random drug test program approved by Nevada. He must also pay for and complete substance abuse program, which is no less than 5 hours, and place an emphasis on psychological and physiological negative effects of PED use. Okay, everyone takes PEDs in pro sports. Let's not be stupid. Under such conditions, Miller will have to submit no fewer than 2 random drug tests per month for 6 consecutive months in order to complete the program. He's also required to pay legal fees for $399.74 for the 5 months which the case has been on the docket. Wednesday's resolution puts to end 5 months worth of temporary suspensions issued to Miller, whose case appeared on the monthly agenda budget at least twice before, only for the case to be further delayed. Miller provided a testing sample in late June, which came back positive for the banned substance GW501516, also known as Cardarine and Endurabol, ahead of his scheduled July 9 clash with Jesse Forrest. So, that's all old news. But let's go to what the commissioner said. This is Miller's third situation like this. I applaud what is put together. If it happens again in Nevada, our approach should be much more severe. Okay. Ironically, Forrest also tested positive for a substance deemed illegal by Nevada testing standard. I didn't know this. With his post-fight urinalysis showing evidence of Candida ball, and so he smoked weed. Not a big deal. Miller's case will run much longer, even with the generous reduction provision included in the final verdict. He's not fought since November 2018, which will leave him without a fight for at least 37 months should he comply with all drug testing. Whereas he avoided discipline in New York last year, Miller found himself before the strictest commission in the United States for this event. The fight was submitted to NSAC, who approved the event on the condition that Miller be treated as a licensed boxer, which subjected him to random drug testing as ordered by the commission. With that, Miller's suspension must be honored by any governing body which falls under the auspices of the Association of Boxing Commission, which means every commission in the United States and its territory. So he can fight overseas, that's what it's saying, but I don't think that's going to happen, or he's going to take that chance. Listen, on a low market. But a 24-month suspension, a two-year suspension for Big Baby. When does this start? Is it retroactive to when he got tested positive, or is it retroactive to now? They're saying 6 months fewer. It seems like it's retroactive to when he first got popped, so he will be back probably 2022 summer, or early 2022. In hindsight, I know it seems like a long time, but that is actually not that bad, especially with the whole coronavirus pandemic happening. Now, if the coronavirus pandemic did not happen, that is a long suspension. He's missing out on a lot of money. With the whole coronavirus situation going up, with the heavyweight division being tied up, that's not that bad for Big Baby Miller. I do see him getting that 6 months reduction. I do see him being back 2022, early January. That's not going to be back, and we're probably going to see Big Baby back with some big fights by the end of that year. Or if not big fights, he's going to be put in there with guys who need some warm-up fights who are bigger names. Who knows? We'll see. But obviously, once again, Big Baby Miller has been spared. The end of his career is still actually very much intact, and he has a chance to come back and be able to actually make some good money from boxing once the suspension is over, man. So I want to know how y'all feel about that. You think they took it easy on him? Do you think the 2 year was worth it? You think he should have been banned for life? Whatever it may be, Big Baby Miller will be back in the sport at some point in 2022. So y'all heard it here first, BlakGooseTV. Y'all already know what it is. So I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's late. It's already 9:50. It's about to be 10 o'clock, man. I want to enjoy the rest of my goddamn night. I appreciate y'all, everybody who hopped up in here. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't subscribed. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you have not hit that. Helps out a lot. Like I said, I may be back for a live on Friday. We'll see. If not, as always, we're going to be getting it popping Saturday. It's going to be a big day Saturday. Garcia versus Errol. We're going to be lit for that. So make sure y'all join me for that shit, okay? Don't miss out. You know what I'm saying? We having fun, living life, doing our thing. Salute to all the people, man. Salute to everybody out there, man. We're going to keep it funky. We're going to keep it fresh. Once again, hit that like button. Once again, subscribe to the channel. But I'm out of here, man. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my night. Appreciate everybody. Much love to y'all. And salute to the people.